How do Mime Artists, and welcome to some brand new main stages in Pokemon Shuffle. Starting off here we have Cascoon. The way to beat this, I would say, go in with Talonflame, use that to be your main one to get rid of as many blocks as possible. Then after that, you can try go in with the Incineroar, try to get a super tackle like that. And then after that you want to be making matches with the Blaziken just to be able to get as many combos as possible. You can lose to this one relatively easily if you've not got that Talonflame to get rid of as many of the blocks as possible. Once you get rid of the blocks, you can start making combos, makes this stage so much easier. To get an S rank on this one, I'd say it could be done relatively easy itemless if you get very lucky with a Talonflame. If not, you can always just head in, plus 5 moves, and that would be absolutely everything you'd need, nothing after that. I was able to beat it 3 moves left. I'd say maybe half the Talonflames went off, something like that, so can be done relatively easy itemless with a little bit of luck. But if you don't want that, just go in, take a plus 5 moves, and that'll be more than enough. 22% catch rate. I don't think I was able to catch it, but I was just trying to get this video out for you to see some of these brand new and tasty stages. Do that maybe 2-3 times, you'll catch it, no bother. You'll S rank it, no bother. And next up here we have Hemorrhoid, or Hemorrhoid as I call it. And with this I went in with what would be a relatively normal team for water. It's Mega Sceptile, Decidueye, Virizion and Shaman. Shaman there just to block some of the disruptions. Virizion there, it's got the power of 4+, and Decidueye, it's got that super arrow or something along those lines, so it'll do a couple thousand damage occasionally if it makes matches of 4, so very helpful in that sense. And once the Mega Sceptile's working, it will be not too shabby in the slightest. There'll be a lot of combos going on, you'll be able to beat it no bother. For an S rank again, probably just a plus 5 moves at most. I think it's very similar to the last one. You could probably do it itemless with a little bit of luck. My Shaman was able to go off. Maybe if you get a little bit better with the first Mega Sceptile kind of screen wipe, could maybe get it itemless, but plus 5 moves and it won't be an issue. 13% for 3 moves left, not the best, but again, do it a couple of times and you'll catch it, no bother at all. And Timber going in with Mega Gengar, Xerneas and Lugia. For this one, if you want, go in with Cresselia as opposed to Lugia. This was my first run at it, I didn't get a second one in. So if you want, go in with Cresselia instead, as that would be so much more effective. The Lugia, super effective, a very powerful Pokemon, but Cresselia has got the Barrier Bash, so that'll be able to get rid of quite a few of those ice looking blocks that we have on the screen. Take that, wouldn't really be an issue. It's not that hard because it's only a free Pokemon stage. Some of the disruptions can be incredibly annoying, like that one there where it's only left you with a couple of rows of possibility, but because it's only a free Pokemon stage, can be relatively easy to get them away, especially if you've got the Cresselia. Make a match with that, or make a match with the Gengars, get rid of 5 or 6 of them at the time. Whatever you can see doing. To S rank this one, again, probably just a plus 5 moves at most if you're not getting it itemless. It could be very possible. I think that if I'd just been a little bit more clever, could have gotten the plus 5 moves. I think I was 1 move off it on this run, so just 1 extra move and I would have been fine. So you may not even need to go itemless. Take Cresselia, see how you do, and if you want to take plus 5 moves for the S rank, feel free to go and do that. And next up is Dustox. So this one, first one to use some items, plus 5 moves and the Mega Start, and I'm going in with Mega Alakazam. I'm not a big fan of Mega Alakazam personally, because after the disruptions are gone, it's not really great for comboing, but it's probably necessary for this one. I did try it with, which Mega did I use? I tried it with Mega Camerupt, that was the one. Tried it with Mega Camerupt just there to do the couple of taps and it gets rid of disruptions or Pokemon around that, but it didn't work as well, as there wasn't enough really getting gone, because if it's disruptions of this nature and this pattern, it can be quite diffuse and it can be hard to get a lot of them at the one time. But if you've got Mega Alakazam, the disruptions at every couple of turns. Don't take a disruption delay if you're using Mega Alakazam. Not very helpful in the slightest, will actually hinder what you're going to be doing. But with this, it's pretty effective. It's just remember not to make matches of the Alakazam if there's no disruptions. If you wanted, you probably don't need to take the Registeel. That one has been skilled swapped for Block Smash Plus. So you don't need to take that along. If you've got the Mega Alakazam that's Mega started, feel free to take something that is super effective and that can give you maybe a little bit of a boost during those turns in which there are no disruptions. Like the Garchomp is able to do, it will just boost quite a few hundred more in the turns when there's no disruptions on the board. For something like that, feel free to take a Landorus, maybe a Risk Taker one, not the Power of 5+. Take the, I think it might be the Therian form perhaps. Take that along, could be very helpful for this. It will boost some of those points. Registeel, it's relatively powerful as it is, it's just not super effective. And that's it beaten. So for the S rank, I'm not really sure. Feel free to do sort of maybe the Mega Camerupt with a disruption delay, with the Mega Boost, and with +5 moves. Maybe that might work. Don't use the disruption delay with the Alakazam, but with the Mega Camerupt could be slightly more effective. So didn't catch it, and not using a great ball, so 52% in the Pokemon that may not be the best. I'll probably just do this stage another couple of times and see how it goes. Here we have Gurdurr. This one not too difficult to beat in the slightest. If you move the Timber along, so then you've got the Timber and the Gurdurr matching, that'll be most of those disruptions away. And you don't really need any particular Pokemon, as the disruptions will just be breakable blocks and Gurdurrs. If you want to bring the Lugia, it's super effective, and it has got the Eject Plus, so it will get rid of 3 of them at a time, which can be relatively helpful. The disruptions aren't really anything that terrible, so feel free to bring along whichever Mega you're most comfortable with. I brought along the Mega Rayquaza, the shiny version, just because it can get rid of some disruptions and it can be relatively helpful for combos. Beyond that, I brought along Tornadus, just as I think it's a risk taker and it's relatively effective. If you wanted to bring along something like a Salamence, Mega Salamence instead, that could be very effective if you bring the Lugia, the Tornadus, and maybe something like whatever other flying type you could think of. Xerneas is not really essential here in the slightest. It's relatively useful, as it is super effective, and it's probably one of my highest hit point attack Pokemon for this type. But beyond that, it's not essential. and it's a relatively easy one to beat. The disruptions, not too bad. Pokemon, not too bad. Feel free to play about with it, see what's going to get you more moves left. For the S rank, maybe +5 moves, maybe a mega start, but you don't need it to beat it. Give it a couple of tries, see what works for you, try out a couple of different teams. It will be a wee while that we'll have these new main stages before there's anything else new, so give it a shot, see how you feel. Next up here is Spinda, and so that was just one of the earlier runs I did. Changed Lucario for the Gallade, as Gallade is essential, just there for the block smash. Now it is a puzzle stage, so do this exactly as you see it and you'll beat it no problem. If not, it'll just take more moves off of you and you'll have to try it again. It doesn't really work, so do that, see, and it should work, absolutely no bother, exactly as it said to do. And beyond that, you want to be making matches with the Gallade, just to get rid of as many blocks as possible. Conkeldurr, relatively powerful. The Mime is there for the nosedive, which did go off that time. I don't know if it goes off again though. Lucario, very helpful just to get rid of any disruptions that are on the board. And that's about it. This stage, again, not too difficult, not too terrible, relatively easy to beat. For the S rank, probably just a +5 moves at most, which is nice. A lot of these stages aren't going to cost a lot of coins to be able to beat them super effectively, so it's not too shabby in the slightest. And here, last turn, just went in trying to get a nosedive, didn't work, but able to beat it no bother still. There, C rank, definitely not the best, but try out some of the different ways to do it and you'll no doubt beat it. Maybe 1 or 2 items and you'll get an S rank. Next up here we have Doublade going in with a full steel team, very much appreciating the new Solgaleo. Very effective in these situations. I don't think I've had the chance to use it before this, but there will be a couple of chances here, this and with stage 590. So just making matches with the Aggron, getting that Mega evolved as quickly as possible. Beyond that, using the Dialga there for the block smash, using the Metagross there, it's just very powerful. If you wanted to swap out the Metagross for a Registeel that had been skill swapped, feel free to do that, it would be quite helpful. Metagross is there mostly just for the power. Its ability isn't the most useful. I think it's an X attack, so when you make cross matches, it does a little more damage. It's not a bad ability, it's just not the most useful, not like a Registeel, where it will be effective as often as you can make it. Beyond that, just making matches, making combos, using the Mega Aggron as much as possible. And it's not that difficult, 5 moves left and just a little bit of a health. Easy to S rank, probably itemless if you're struggling itemless, +5 moves. Simple, not too much to worry about in the slightest. %, with 3 moves left. If you're going to do it itemless, you'll become more accustomed, maybe take Registeel along, you'll get up into the 20s probably, and then you just do it 2 or 3 times and you'll catch it no bother. And next up is Conkeldurr, and this one, Diancie is essential, some items may be essential. I've gone in with a Mega Start and a +5 moves. The +5 moves, just a safety net, just to feel a little bit more comfortable with the stage. And take Diancie, certainly the best one that I could think of. I tried Alakazam, don't take Alakazam. Alakazam's just no. But Diancie, not too shabby, and then we've got Crustle as well, that's got Block Smash Plus. The shiny Rayquaza, that's mostly just there for the power, and Xerneas just there for the power. Diancie, like Alakazam, is not great for combos after all of the disruptions have gone, but it is very useful when those disruptions are, and like the last one, it's every couple of turns, just like what was the other stage in this video, the one that had all the... It's early in the morning, it's very early in the morning. But use the Xerneas whenever you like. Its Quirky++ is definitely not essential. Rayquaza, relatively helpful, not really essential either, so feel free to change those two out, but the Cresselia and the Diancie are pretty much non-negotiable. You might not need a Mega Start if you're relatively confident, but there's a lot of disruptions at the start and you'd need a relatively good Cresselia starting position, maybe a 4-match Cresselia, just to get a little bit more comfortable with what's happening in this stage if you're not going in with the Mega Start. And for the S rank, you probably just need to be relatively good. The +5 moves may be essential as well. Don't use the disruption delay if you are going in with the Mega Started Diancie, as it will only work if there are disruptions on the board. Beyond that, I think you just a little bit of luck and maybe some higher level Pokemon, you'll get the S rank, no trouble. That was an A and that was with the +5, and I'm certainly not the best at this. Next up here we have Leafeon, and going in, this is pretty much just a full fire team. We've got Blaziken, Incineroar, Ho-Oh just there for the Pyre, and Reshiram, which is mostly there just for the power, as it's very powerful. You don't need the Barrier Bash on this stage at all, but it's a good one to have, or feel free to bring along a Houndoom in its place, as its ability could actually be somewhat useful. Entirely up to you, make sure you just feel comfortable using the team, know what all the abilities are. What you do with this is you just try to get the Blaziken working as soon as possible. After that you just make matches, try to get as many screen wipes as possible, and it won't be too difficult. You'll beat it for an S rank, probably just a +5 moves at most. Nothing beyond that is really essential. Mega Starts probably not, as if you've got Blaziken with a couple of candies, it'll go up in maybe 2 to 3 moves, and with the +5 moves shouldn't be an issue in the slightest. That was just 2 moves left without any items, just to show you it can be done itemless. One that's already caught and it's got an A rank, so I'll come back, I'll do it another couple of times, see if I can get the S rank to get some of those expert stages. And here we have Crustle again, full steel team, this time going in with a Registeel, leaving out the Dialga, taking the Metagross. Feel free to swap the Metagross for the Dialga, whatever you feel comfortable with. I just thought the Registeel is certainly enough for this stage. So Mega Start again, +5 moves just for the safety of it, just to feel a little bit more comfortable. And with this, making matches with the Solgaleo, that way you can get Metal Combo, very helpful for this because you've got a full steel team. Aggron, very useful. I'm certainly not the best with Aggron or any of the tap to, you know, get rid of the ones around where you tap. I'm terrible at using them, not great at making combos with them, but it's definitely the best Mega to use on this stage. And there, that's Metagross's cross attack, 800, which certainly isn't too shabby. And for this stage, I think I S-ranked it, and that was just with a couple of items, so you will no doubt be able to S-rank it as well. Take a similar team. I think Solgaleo's now gone, but you should have it. I think there was a video up on this channel of how to catch it. Solgaleo, very useful. There's probably better ways of being able to beat this than I did. I made a couple of slight misplays where there were better matches looking back at them, but that's always the way it is. I'm certainly not the best at playing this by far, but able to beat it with 4 moves left. For being the last of the 10, it's not too bad. Quite an easy one to beat, and out of these 10 there's only a couple that need items, which is very useful after that very hefty pre-marina competitive stage where you needed a complexity -1. Very helpful to have quite a few stages that don't need that many items. So there we go, that's an S rank, and some more stages coming very soon. But thank you very much for watching, and how do, Mime Artists?
Eggs! Eggs! E-double-G-S eggs!